Zara stood at the edge of the landing zone watching the ship that brought her here vanish into the clouds. Her long purple fingers clutched a small bag containing all she was allowed to bring to this place. This human colony on a distant moon. The wind blew her silvery hair across her face as tears formed in her four amber eyes. She had been sent here as punishment, not for a crime, but for speaking against the High Council of her homeworld. She had questioned their decision to limit contact. With humans calling them primitive and dangerous, Zara believed otherwise, and now she would live among them. Settlement 12 was a small human mining colony with only 200 residents. The buildings were simple metal structures arranged in a circle, around a central hub. Zara took a deep breath of the unfamiliar air and walked toward the settlement gate. Her heart beat rapidly in her chest. She had studied humans from afar but had never actually met one. Now she would be living among them for 5 years. A human woman with short brown hair waited for her. The tag on her uniform read, Samantha Baker, Colony Administrator. Samantha smiled at Zara and extended her hand, but then remembered that Vexillians did not shake hands. She nodded instead. Welcome to Settlement 12. I know this is not by choice, but we will try to make your stay comfortable. You are the first Vexillian most of us have ever met. Zara bowed slightly. Thank you for your kindness. I will try not to be a burden. You won't be. We can. Use all the help we can get here. Follow me, I will show you where you will live. The small room Samantha led her to was basic but clean. A bed, a desk, a small bathroom. It would be her home for the next 5 years. The length of her exile. The community. Dining hall serves meals 3 times daily, but you have a small cooking unit if you prefer to eat alone. Tomorrow I will introduce you to Mary. She runs our hydroponics lab. You will work with her. Zara nodded again. I know about growing things. This is good. After Samantha left, Zara sat on the edge of the bed looking at the bare walls of her new home. She unpacked her few belongings, a small glowing crystal from her homeworld, a book of Vexillian poetry, a photo cube showing her family who had turned their backs on her when she spoke against the council, a plant cutting sealed in a special container that she hoped to grow here. That night Zara lay awake listening to the strange sounds of the human settlement, the hum of machinery, the distant voices speaking a language she was still learning. She felt more alone than she ever had in her life. On her world, Vexillians were never truly alone. Their mild telepathic abilities meant they always felt the presence of others around them. Here, there was only silence in her mind. The emptiness felt like another punishment. Morning came with a soft chime from the room system. Zara dressed in the practical clothing provided for colonists. While designed for humans, it fit her tall, slender form well enough. She looked at herself in the small mirror. Her purple skin seemed darker here under the light of a different sun. Her 4 eyes blinked back at her, the inner pair smaller than the outer. She wondered how the humans saw her. Were they afraid? Did they think her ugly? The dining hall was half full when she arrived. People stopped talking as she entered. All eyes turned to her. Zara stood frozen for a moment, then forced herself to move toward the food line. A young woman serving food smiled at her. Good morning, you must be our new resident. I am Linda. What would you like to eat? Zara was grateful for the kindness. I eat plant foods only if that is possible. Of course we have fruit porridge or vegetable hash. Zara chose the porridge and took her bowl to an empty table. She could feel the humans watching her. Some looked curious, others wary. A few children pointed at her until their parents made them stop. She ate quickly, keeping her eyes on her food. After breakfast, Samantha came to take her to the hydroponics lab. It was located in a large dome structure at the edge of the settlement. When the door slid open, Zara felt a rush of warm, moist air that reminded her of home Mary. Peterson was a tall woman with gray-streaked blonde hair who greeted Zara with enthusiasm. Welcome, welcome. I have been looking forward to meeting you. Samantha tells me you know about plants. Yes, on my world, I was a botanical researcher before. Zara hesitated. She did not want to talk about her disgrace. Mary did not press. Well, that is wonderful. Our tomatoes are struggling. Maybe you can help. The hydroponics lab was filled with rows of plants growing in nutrient-rich water under special lights. The air was thick with oxygen and plant scents. Zara felt herself relax for the first time since arriving. These are our food plants, Mary explained as they walked through the rows. Lettuce, spinach, tomatoes, cucumbers, herbs. Here are strawberries, and here we grow mushrooms. Zara noticed signs of nutrient deficiency in some plants. She pointed to yellowing leaves. These need more iron, I think, and these. She indicated the struggling tomatoes. They need more calcium and less water. Mary looked impressed. You can tell just by looking, my. People have grown plants in artificial environments for many generations. We had to leave our homeworld for a time long ago. Mary nodded. I would love to hear more about your techniques. Let me show you where you will work. For the rest of the day, Zara followed Mary. Learning the lab systems and schedules, Mary was patient explaining equipment and procedures. Zara was surprised to find the technology both familiar and strange. The humans had developed some methods her people had not thought of. By the end of the day, Zara felt tired but less afraid. She had a purpose here at least. Mary had not seemed disgusted by her appearance or afraid of her difference. This gave her hope. The next few days fell into a pattern. Breakfast in the dining hall, work in the hydroponics lab, dinner, then back to her room. She spoke little except to Mary. She noticed the human children watching her with open curiosity, while the adults tried to pretend they weren't staring. One morning, a week after her arrival, Zara found a small group of children waiting outside the lab. They seemed nervous but excited. The oldest, a girl of about 10, stepped forward. Hello, my name is Lily. These are my friends. We wanted to ask you something, if that's okay. Zara was surprised, but nodded. You may ask. Our teacher told us you come from a planet called Vexil and that your people know a lot about stars and space. Is that true? Yes, that is true. We have traveled among stars for a long time. The children looked at each other. Then Lily spoke again. Would you maybe someday tell us about the stars and planets you've seen? Our teacher says we should learn from other beings. Something warm bloomed in Zara's chest. She had not expected this. I would be happy to share what I know. When would you like to learn? Really? Lily's face lit up. Maybe after school sometime. The teacher said we should ask you first. Yes. Tell your teacher I agree. The children ran off, chattering excitedly. Mary, who had witnessed the exchange, smiled. At Zara, they've been working up the courage to talk to you for days. Human children are not afraid. Children are more open than adults. They see differences as interesting, not threatening. Mary paused. Would you join me for dinner tonight instead of eating in the hall? I have a small apartment and I make better food than the dining hall. Zara hesitated, then nodded. I would like that. That evening, Zara discovered that Mary lived in a cozy apartment filled with plants and books. Mary had prepared a meal of roasted vegetables and a grain Zara had not tried before. It's called quinoa. An ancient earth grain, very nutritious. As they ate, Mary asked about Vexillian culture, their history, their science. Zara found herself talking more than she had since arriving. She told Mary about her homeworld, its 3 moons, its vast oceans. She explained how her people had once been nomadic travelers among stars, before settling on Vexil. Our council believes we should remain separate from other species, especially humans. They fear your kind is too unpredictable, too violent. Zara looked down. I questioned this. I said we should learn from each other. That is why I am here. They exiled you for that. Mary looked shocked. They call it cultural rehabilitation. I am to learn the danger of humans firsthand. Zara gave a small laugh. But you have been kind. You and the children. Not everyone is kind, Zara. Some humans are afraid of differences, but many of us want to learn, want to grow. Mary refilled Zara's cup with herbal tea. I think your counsel is wrong. So do I. That is my problem. That night, walking back to her room, Zara felt less alone. The weight of exile seemed lighter. She had found one friend, perhaps she would find more. and soon she would teach the children about stars. Her knowledge was still valued even here, even among aliens. She looked up at the night sky, seeing unfamiliar constellations. For the first time, she wondered if her exile might become something more than punishment. It might become an opportunity. 2 weeks after her arrival on Settlement 12, Zara stood nervously in the colony schoolroom. The small classroom was filled with 20 human children ranging from 6 to 12 years old. They sat at their desks, watching her with wide eyes. Their teacher, Kate Wilson, had invited Zara to give a special lesson about space and stars. "Children, please welcome Ms. Zara, who has kindly agreed to share her knowledge with us today," Kate said with a warm smile. "Hello, Ms. Zara," the children chorused. Zara felt her 4 eyes blink rapidly, a sign of nervousness among her people. "Hello, children, I am happy to be here." She pulled out a small device from her pocket and placed it on the teacher's desk. With a small click, it projected a 3-dimensional map of nearby star systems into the center of the room. The children gasped as tiny stars and planets floated in the air. "This is where we are now." Zara pointed to a small blue-green moon orbiting a gas giant. "And this," she pointed to a distant star with 7 planets, "is my home system where Vexil is located." For the next hour, Zara showed the children stars and planets she had visited. She told them about gas giants with rings of ice, about worlds covered in oceans where creatures as big as ships swam in the depths, about tiny moons with crystals that grew like trees. She explained how her people navigated using pulsar waves, and how different species communicated across vast distances. The children listened with rapt attention, asking questions that surprised Zara with their insight. "Do different aliens have different kinds of music? How do you say hello in your language? Do your people have holidays?" Zara found herself enjoying their curiosity. By the end of the session, she felt something she had not felt since her exile began: pride. As the children filed out for lunch, Lily, the girl who had first approached her, lingered behind. "That was the best class ever, Ms. Zara. Will you come back and teach us more? If your teacher allows it." "Yes." Kate approached, smiling. "The children love this, Zara. Would you consider making this a regular event? Perhaps once a week?" Zara nodded, feeling a strange warmth inside her chest. "I would like that very much." In the following weeks, Zara fell into a routine that became increasingly comfortable. Mornings in the hydroponics lab, afternoons working on special projects, and 1 day a week teaching the children. She began to recognize faces in the dining hall. Some people even sat with her now, asking polite questions about her work or her lessons. Mary had introduced her to other scientists in the colony: Paul, the geologist; Susan, the atmospheric specialist; Ben, the engineer. They included her in their conversations, their plans, their jokes. The hydroponics lab became Zara's sanctuary. In the warm, moist air, surrounded by growing things, she felt almost at home. She had introduced several Vexillian techniques that improved plant growth. The tomatoes were flourishing now, after she adjusted their calcium levels and suggested using sound vibrations to strengthen their cell walls. Mary was amazed by the results. "These plants provide most of our fresh food," Mary explained one day. "The mining operation is why we're here, but these plants keep us alive." Zara found she had knowledge to share too. She told Mary about Vexillian methods using harmonics to stimulate growth. Mary was fascinated. "That's amazing. We should implement this across all growing sections." One afternoon, as they worked, Zara noticed Mary watching her with a curious expression. "Is something wrong?" Mary shook her head. "No, not at all. I was just thinking, you've been here almost a month now, but you've never had a medical check. Everyone on the colony needs regular checks. It's for safety." Zara felt her inner eyes narrow, a sign of distress. "I do not wish to be examined like a specimen." "Oh, Zara. No. It's not like that. Olivia, our doctor is wonderful. She just needs to establish your baseline health in case you ever need help." Zara remained silent. "Would it help if I came with you?" Mary offered. After a moment, Zara nodded. Perhaps that would be better. The next day, Mary walked with Zara to the medical center, a small building near the center. Of the settlement, Zara felt her hearts beating faster. Vexillians had two hearts, one larger than the other. On her world, medical procedures were done in privacy, with only family present. The idea of being examined by an alien made her skin flush, dark purple with anxiety. The medical center waiting room was empty. Mary squeezed Zara's hand reassuringly. Olivia scheduled this time just for you. No one else will be here. A door opened and a human woman stepped out. She was shorter than Mary, with dark hair pulled back in a simple style. Her skin was a warm brown color and her eyes were kind. You must be Zara. I'm Olivia Rodriguez, the colony doctor. Thank you for coming. Zara was surprised by the warmth in the woman's voice. There was no hint of the clinical detachment she had feared. Mary, will you wait out here? Olivia asked. Mary looked at Zara. Do you want me to stay with you? Zara considered, then straightened her shoulders. I will be fine, thank you, Mary. Olivia led Zara to an examination room. It was clean and bright with equipment Zara did not recognize. She indicated a chair. Please sit. Make yourself comfortable. Instead of immediately examining her, Olivia sat across from Zara. I understand your hesitation about coming here, being wow. Examined by someone who doesn't know your physiology must be concerning. Yes. The council told us humans would see us as specimens to study. Olivia frowned. That isn't true, at least not for most of us. I became a doctor to help people to heal. But I always dreamed of meeting beings from other worlds to learn, yes, but to learn how to help if needed. She leaned forward. I promise you, Zara, I will be respectful. This is about your health, not my curiosity. Something about Olivia's sincerity touched Zara. She found herself relaxing slightly. What do you need to know? First, I'd like you to tell me about Vexillian biology, the basics, your systems, your normal parameters. Then, well, do some simple scans. Nothing invasive. For the next hour, Zara explained her physiology, her dual hearts, her secondary lung system that filtered the air for specific gases, her 4 eyes, the outer pair, seeing visible light like humans, the inner pair sensing heat and movement, her digestive system that could not process animal proteins, her slightly higher body temperature compared to humans. Olivia listened intently, asking thoughtful questions and making notes. She seemed fascinated, but in a professional way, not treating Zara as a curiosity. This is remarkable, Zara. Your cardiovascular system is so efficient, and these secondary lungs, how do they function exactly? As Zara explained, watching Olivia's face light up with each new discovery, she found herself enjoying the exchange. It felt like teaching the children, but different. More like a conversation between equals. When the time came for the physical scans, Zara found she was no longer afraid. Olivia explained each step, showing Zara the equipment before using it. This scanner creates a 3-dimensional image of your internal systems. It doesn't hurt or invade your body in any way. The scan took only minutes. Olivia showed Zara the images, pointing out her dual hearts, her lung structures. Your bone density is higher than ours. Fascinating. And your neural pathways are more complex in certain areas, particularly here. She pointed to an area near the base of Zara's skull. Is this related to your telepathic abilities? Zara was surprised. You know about that? It's in the briefing all colonists received before your arrival. Very mild telepathy limited to your own species, right? Yes. We sense emotions and presence, not thoughts. It is why I feel so alone here. The silence in my mind. Olivia's expression softened. That must be difficult. I hadn't considered the psychological impact. It is better now. I am adapting. When the examination was complete, Olivia saved the data and turned to Zara. Thank you for trusting me. This information will help me provide better care if you ever need it. She hesitated. Would you be willing to come back perhaps once a month for regular checks and maybe? She smiled. To continue our conversations, I have so many questions if you're willing to answer them. Zara found herself nodding. I would like that, as She left the medical center. Zara felt lighter somehow. A burden of fear had been lifted. Olivia's interest had been professional but also personal. She had seen Zara as a person, not just an alien specimen. Mary was waiting outside. How did it go? It was good. Olivia is. Zara paused, searching for the right word. Kind. Mary smiled. Yes, she is one of our best people. That night, Zara wrote in her personal log a habit she had maintained since arriving, day 32 of exile. Today, I met the human doctor, Olivia Rodriguez. I expected fear, disgust, or clinical detachment. Instead, I found respect and genuine interest. She listened as I explained my biology. She showed me images of my dual hearts. I will see her again next month. For regular checks, she says, but I think also for conversation. She has questions, I have answers. Perhaps we will learn from each other. The High Council believes humans see us only as strange creatures to study or fear. But Olivia saw me. She saw Zara, not just a Vexillian. The children see me too, and Mary. And perhaps others will in time. I'm beginning to wonder if my exile might become something more than punishment. It might become a bridge. 2 months into her exile, Zara no longer felt like a complete stranger in Settlement 12. Her weekly lessons with the children had become popular. Even some adults attended, now sitting in the back of the classroom listening as she described distant worlds. Her work in the hydroponics lab had earned her respect among the science team. The plants were thriving under her care, with yields increasing beyond expectations. But it was her monthly visits with Olivia that Zara found herself looking forward to. Most their sessions had evolved from simple medical checks to long conversations. Olivia was curious about everything: Vexillian culture, language, art, music, politics. She asked thoughtful questions and listened with genuine interest. During their third meeting, Olivia asked about Vexillian family structures. Do your people form pair bonds like humans? Do you have marriage? Zara explained, we have life bonds similar to your marriage, but based on mental compatibility, not just emotional or physical attraction. Our mild telepathic abilities mean we can sense who might be compatible, but the choice is still personal. And children. We have children much as humans do, though our gestation period is longer. 14 of your months. Most Vexillians have only 1 or 2 children in a lifetime. Your council, the one that sent you here, how are they chosen? Zara felt her inner eyes narrow slightly, a sign of discomfort. They are the oldest of our kind. Those who have lived longest are thought to be wisest. They are not elected but selected based on age and their record of service. You disagreed with them. That must have taken courage. Zara looked down at her purple hands. Not courage, foolishness. Perhaps I spoke against centuries of tradition. I questioned their wisdom. What exactly did you say to them? I told them isolation was making us stagnant, that we could learn from other species, especially humans. That fear was driving our policies, not wisdom. Zara sighed. I was a respected scientist before, but one does not question the council. Olivia reached out and briefly touched Zara's hand, a gesture of comfort. I think it was courage, and I think you were right. The touch was unexpected. Vexillians rarely touched each other outside of family bonds. The brief contact sent a strange warmth through Zara's skin. After that meeting, Zara found herself thinking about Olivia often. The doctor had invited her to the monthly movie night in the community center. Zara had never seen human entertainment before and was curious. The community center was the largest building in the settlement. A big room with rows of chairs facing a large screen. Zara arrived early, feeling nervous about being in such a large group. Mary had promised to save her a seat, but she did not see her friend yet. Zara, over here. She turned to see Olivia waving from a row near the back. The doctor was wearing casual clothes instead of her medical uniform, a simple blue shirt and dark pants. Her hair was loose around her shoulders. Zara made her way to the empty seat beside her. Mary couldn't come. She's dealing with a small crisis in the lab. Something about the irrigation system, Olivia explained. But I saved you a seat if you'd like to join me. Zara sat down, aware of the curious glances from other colonists. Most had seen her around the settlement by now, but she still drew attention. What is this movie about? She asked. It's an old Earth classic called Contact, about humans making first contact with an alien civilization. It's fiction, of course, from long before we actually met other species, but it's thoughtful, not like some of the silly alien invasion films. As the lights dimmed and the movie began, Zara found herself fascinated. The story followed a human female scientist, searching for signals from space. When contact was finally made, it changed everything for her and for humanity. Zara was struck by how the film portrayed the hope and fear such contact generated. The main character fought against those who wanted to respond with weapons and suspicion. Throughout the film, Zara was conscious of Olivia beside her, the doctor's reactions, the small sounds of amusement or concern. She found herself watching Olivia almost as much as the screen when the movie ended. The lights came up and people began discussing what they'd seen. Olivia turned to Zara. "What did you think?" It was interesting. The scientist, she was right to push for peaceful contact. The military men were wrong, but I understand their fear of the unknown. Some things don't change even centuries later. Olivia said, "There are still people who fear what they don't understand. On Vexil, it is the same. The Council fears humans because they do not understand you. And what about you, Zara? Do you fear us?" Zara considered the question, looking around at the humans chatting, laughing, moving about the room. "Not anymore. At first, yes, but now I see you are just people. Different but people." Olivia smiled. "Would you like to get some tea? There's a small cafe area in the corner." They sat at a small table with cups of herbal tea. The cafe area was quieter than the main room. Olivia asked about Vexillian entertainment. "We have something similar to your movies, but they engage all senses, including mild telepathic impressions. We also have music, complex compositions that can last for days. I'd love to hear Vexillian music sometime. I have recordings, I could share them." "I'd like that." Olivia hesitated. "Actually, I'm having a small gathering at my place this weekend. Just a few friends for dinner. Nothing formal. I thought you might enjoy meeting people in a more relaxed setting." Zara felt both nervous and pleased at the invitation. "I would like to come. Thank you." 3 days later, Zara stood outside Olivia's door holding a small pot containing a plant she had grown in the lab. It had purple leaves and tiny white flowers. She hoped it was an appropriate gift. Olivia lived in one of the nicer apartments assigned to senior staff. The door slid open, revealing a warm space with comfortable furniture, and walls painted a soft yellow instead of the standard white of most colony rooms. "Zara, come in." Olivia welcomed her warmly. "Oh, what a beautiful plant. I grew it for you. It adapts well to indoor environments, and the flowers have a pleasant scent in the evening. It's lovely. Thank you. Come meet everyone." There were 4 other people in the room. Paul, the geologist she knew from the lab. Susan, the atmospheric specialist, a woman named Diane who worked in communications, and a man named Alan, who Olivia introduced as the colony's head engineer. They greeted Zara politely, if a bit awkwardly at first. Dinner was served at a table by the window. The food was better than the dining hall, simpler but fresher. Olivia had prepared several vegetable dishes specifically for Zara. The conversation flowed easily as they ate. Paul talked about recent mineral discoveries. Susan described changes in the moon's atmosphere. Alan complained, good-heartedly, about maintenance challenges. "The water recycling system is driving me crazy. Something keeps clogging the filters. Have you checked for bacterial buildup?" Zara suggested. "On space stations, my people found certain bacteria thrive. In recycling systems," Alan looked interested. "What kind of bacteria?" Soon they were deep in a technical discussion. The others joined in, each contributing from their area of expertise. It struck Zara that this was exactly the kind of exchange the Council feared, sharing of knowledge across species, but she could see only benefits in it. Not dangers. After dinner, they moved to the sitting area. Diane brought out a game, Scrabble Anyone. "Oh, Zara might not," Olivia began. "I would like to try." Zara said, "Though your language is still sometimes difficult for me." They played in teams, Zara with Olivia, Paul with Susan, and Alan with Diane. Zara was surprised to find she enjoyed the game. The challenge of finding words. The friendly competition. Olivia leaned close to her as they discussed possible words her scent. Something clean and slightly sweet filling Zara's senses. When the evening ended, Zara felt a contentment she had not experienced since before her exile. These humans had welcomed her into their gathering not as a curiosity but as a friend. Olivia walked her to her quarters through the quiet nighttime settlement. I hope you enjoyed yourself. Very much. Your friends are kind. They like you. Zara. Everyone does. The children talk about you constantly. The science team respects your work. You've become part of our community. They reached Zara's door. Zara turned to face Olivia. Thank you for including me. I wanted to, Olivia said softly. There was something in her voice, a warmth, that made Zara's dual hearts beat faster. For a moment they stood looking at each other, then Olivia stepped back. Good night, Zara. Good night, Olivia. Inside her room, Zara touched her chest, feeling the rapid beating of her hearts. What was this feeling? This awareness of Olivia that seemed to grow stronger each time they met. On Vexil, she would have understood it immediately. The telepathic connection would have made it clear. But here, with only her physical senses to guide her, she felt confused. She thought of how Olivia had leaned close during the game, how her hand had briefly touched Zara's when passing her a cup of tea. She thought of the warmth in Olivia's eyes when she looked at her. Was this just human friendship, or something more? That night Zara dreamed of home of Vexil with its 3 moons and vast oceans. But in the dream, Olivia was there walking beside her, explaining Earth customs, making Zara laugh. Zara woke with a sense of loss, not for Vexil, but for the dream itself. The next morning as she worked in the lab, Mary noticed her distraction. Is everything all right? You seem far away today. I am thinking about... Zara paused, not sure how to explain, about connections between people, between different kinds of people. Mary gave her a knowing look. Would these thoughts have anything to do with a certain doctor? Zara felt her skin flush dark purple with embarrassment. How did you? 4 months into her exile, Zara had established herself as a valuable member of the settlement community. Her work in the hydroponics lab had increased food production significantly. Her weekly lessons about space and alien cultures were now attended by as many adults as children. She had even been invited to join the settlement's advisory council, a group that met monthly to discuss issues and make recommendations to the administrator. But her growing feelings for Olivia occupied her thoughts more and more. They saw each other often now, not just for medical checkups but for meals, quiet evenings in Olivia's apartment, walks around the settlement perimeter. They talked for hours about their worlds, their cultures, their lives. Zara told Olivia about her childhood on Vexil, about the floating cities on the vast oceans, about her early interest in plants and growing things. She spoke of her family who had distanced themselves after her disgrace. She admitted her loneliness, her struggle with the silence in her mind where the gentle telepathic presence of her kind should be. Olivia shared stories of Earth, her childhood in a place called Arizona, her years studying medicine, her decision to join the colonial program. I wanted to help people, but also to see beyond Earth, to experience something new. They discovered shared interests, a love of knowledge, a curiosity about the universe, a belief that different species could learn from each other. They found they had similar senses of humor, laughing at the same absurdities. One evening, as they walked along the settlement's edge, looking at the strange rock formations that dotted the landscape, Olivia asked a question that caught Zara off guard. Have you ever been in love? Zara felt her inner eyes blink rapidly. Not in the way humans mean it, I think. On Vexil, we form bonds based on mental compatibility. Our telepathic senses guide us. We feel a resonance with compatible minds. It is not the same as the emotional love humans describe in their stories. So no passionate romances, no heart racing when someone walks into a room. Our physiology is different. Our hearts do not race with emotion. They respond to physical needs. Zara paused. At least that is what I believed. Olivia looked at her curiously, and now I am not certain. My heart seemed to have their own ideas. They stopped walking. Olivia turned to face her. Zara, I've been studying Vexillian culture, trying to understand, in your society, is there room for love between different kinds of beings? Zara looked at Olivia, seeing the hope in her face, feeling her own dual hearts beating faster than they should. The council would say no. That is part of why I am here. I believed there could be more between our peoples than fear and distance. And now, what do you believe now? Now I know there can be more, much more. Olivia stepped closer. May I? Zara nodded, understanding the unspoken question. Their first kiss was awkward. Their faces were shaped differently. Their customs unfamiliar, but they adjusted, learning each other, finding a way. For Zara, the sensation was entirely new. Vexillians rarely touched in such a way. The physical contact sent waves of warmth through her body. When they parted, Olivia was smiling. That was different. Zara finished, but good. Yes, good. They walked back to the settlement, hand in hand, Zara's 7 fingers intertwined with Olivia's 5. Neither spoke, both lost in thought. As they reached Olivia's door, Olivia asked, "Would you like to come in?" Zara hesitated. "I would, but I need time to think. This is new to me." "Of course, take all the time you need." In her room that night, Zara sat at her desk and opened a communication channel to Vexil. She had been allowed limited contact during her exile monthly reports to the council on her rehabilitation. But this would be different. This would be a personal message to her sister, the only family member who still occasionally wrote to her. Tala. It is Zara. I hope you are well. I am writing, because she paused, gathering her thoughts. Because something unexpected has happened, I have formed a connection with a human. Her name is Olivia. She is a doctor here. It is not the telepathic resonance we know on Vexil. It is different, but it is real. My hearts respond to her presence. My thoughts turn to her when we are apart. I believe this is what humans call love. The council would disapprove, I know this. They would say I have been contaminated by human emotions, that I have lost my Vexillian identity, but I do not feel lost, I feel found. I do not expect you to understand, I barely understand it myself, but I wanted someone from home to know that I am well, that I am not alone here, that perhaps the council is wrong about humans. They are not primitive or dangerous. They are different, yes, but they feel deeply, they think, they dream. They reach out across the void between species. Be well, sister. I will write again soon. Zara did not expect a reply. For a long moment she sat in silence. Then she made another decision. She picked up the small glowing crystal from her homeworld, the one possession she treasured most. It was a memory crystal containing images of Vexil, of her family, of her life before exile. She would give it to Olivia, a gesture of trust and connection. The next day Zara found it difficult to concentrate on her work. Her mind kept returning to the kiss, to the feeling of Olivia's hand in hers, to the decision she had made. Mary noticed her distraction. Earth to Zara. Mary waved a hand in front of her face. Your mind is definitely not on these seedlings. I am sorry, Mary, I am thinking about Olivia. Mary finished with a smile. Everyone knows Zara. It's not exactly a secret. Zara felt her skin darken with embarrassment. Everyone. Well, maybe not everyone, but those of us who know you both can see it. The way you look at each other, the way you always find each other in a crowd, the way your whole face lights up when she enters a room. Is it inappropriate? A human and a Vexillian. Mary shook her head. Love is never inappropriate. Unusual may be challenging, certainly, but never wrong. But what will people think? Some will be surprised, some won't understand, but most people here care about you both. They want you to be happy. Mary squeezed her shoulder gently. Follow your heart, sorry. Zara smiled. Thank you, Mary. That evening, Zara messaged Olivia asking if they could meet. Olivia suggested the observation deck, a small platform on the settlement's highest point where people sometimes gathered to watch the sunset or the moon's rise. When Zara arrived, Olivia was already there looking out at the horizon. The gas giant this moon orbited was rising huge and banded with orange and brown stripes. The sky was turning deep purple as the sun set. "It's beautiful, isn't it?" Olivia said as Zara joined her. "I never get tired of this view. On Vexil we have 3 moons. They rise together once every 60 days. It is considered a time of reflection and new beginnings." "Is that why you wanted to meet new beginnings?" Zara nodded. "I have been thinking about what this means, a Vexillian and a human, and I find I do not care what others think. Not the council, not the colonists, not even my own people. I care only what you think, what you feel." Olivia took her hand. "I think you're remarkable, Zara. Not because you're Vexillian, but because you're you. Your mind, your heart, your spirit. I have never met anyone like you. I feel the same. And I want." Zara paused. "I want to explore this connection between us, whatever it is, wherever it leads." "So do I." Zara reached into her pocket and pulled out the small crystal. "On my world, we share memory crystals with those closest to us. This contains images of Vexil, of my family, of my life before I would like you to have it." Olivia took the crystal carefully. It glowed softly in her palm. "Zara, this is too precious." "Not too precious for you." Olivia looked at her with tears in her eyes. "I don't have anything like this to give you. You have given me acceptance when my own people rejected me, understanding when I felt most alien connection, when I felt most alone. That is worth more than any crystal." Under the purple sky with the giant planet rising before them, they kissed again. This time it felt natural. The differences between them still existed, but they no longer seemed important in the weeks that followed. Zara and Olivia became inseparable. They spent their free time together exploring the area around the settlement, sharing meals with friends, watching Earth movies, or studying Vexillian texts together. Olivia was learning Zara's language, though the telepathic components were beyond her. Zara was learning more about human customs, emotions, the complexity of their relationships. Some colonists were surprised by their relationship. A few seemed uncomfortable, but most accepted it. Some even seemed pleased. Mary certainly was. "About time," she said, when they told her officially. "I was wondering how long it would take you two to figure it out." One evening as they sat together in Olivia's apartment, Zara reading a medical text, Olivia analyzing some lab results. Zara was struck by how comfortable this felt, how right despite their differences, despite the council, despite everything they had found something special. "What are you thinking?" Olivia asked, noticing Zara's thoughtful expression. "I am thinking that exile has become home." Olivia smiled. "I'm glad. But do you ever miss Vexil?" "Sometimes I miss the oceans, the telepathic connection with my people, certain foods, certain smells. But," Zara touched Olivia's face gently, "I have found something here I never had there. A true connection. A partnership of equals. The council sees humans as lesser beings. I see you as my equal, perhaps even my better in some ways. Not better, just different. We each have strengths. This is why I love you. Your wisdom." It was the first time Zara had used the word love. Olivia looked at her. With shining eyes, "I love you too." 1 year into her exile, Zara sat at the desk in the quarters she now shared with Olivia. Her fingers moved over the communication panel as she composed her annual report to the Vexillian High Council. She had been required to submit these reports as part of her rehabilitation, but this one would be different. To the esteemed members of the High Council, Zara, formerly of House Linar, submit this report on my rehabilitation status after 1 standard year on the human settlement designated as Settlement 12. As instructed, I have observed human behavior, customs, and social structures I have integrated into their community, working primarily in agricultural science and education. I have maintained the dignity of a Vexillian citizen while adapting to local conditions. She paused, considering her next words carefully. They would not be what the council expected or wanted to hear. I must report that my observations have led me to confirm, rather than reject, my previous conclusions about human species. The council's position that humans are primitive, dangerous, and incompatible with Vexillian civilization is based on fear and misunderstanding, not fact. Humans are complex beings, capable of great kindness, creativity, and wisdom. They value knowledge and seek to understand the universe much as we do. They form deep bonds of friendship and love. Their differences from us are not deficiencies, but adaptations to their own evolutionary path. During my time here, I have experienced not rejection or danger, but acceptance and community. I have found purpose in sharing my knowledge. I have formed connections that challenge our assumptions about interspecies relations. Most significantly, I have formed a life bond with a human, Dr. Olivia Rodriguez. This bond is different from traditional Vexillian mental resonance, but no less profound. It is based on mutual respect, shared values, and deep affection. Our differences have become strengths, not barriers. I understand this. Report will likely result in the extension of my exile. This is acceptable to me. I no longer view my presence here as punishment, but as privilege. I have found a home among those you consider alien. I have found understanding where you predicted only conflict. I do not expect the Council to change its policies based on my experience. But I ask you to consider that your fear of humans may be preventing our civilization from growing, from evolving. We were once explorers connecting with many species across the stars. Now we hide behind our isolation, fearing contamination from those who might instead enrich us. I remain Zara of Vexil, though my path has diverged from that which the Council prescribed. For me, exile has become freedom. She ended the transmission knowing the response would not be positive. The Council would see her bond with Olivia as proof of contamination. They might even extend her exile to a full decade, rather than the original 5 years. The thought did not trouble her as it once would have. That evening, Zara and Olivia hosted a small gathering in their quarters. Mary was there along with Paul, Susan, and several others who had become friends during Zara's time on Settlement 12. The occasion was the successful implementation of Vexillian growing techniques across all hydroponic sections. The colony's food production had increased by 30%, solving a persistent supply issue. To Zara, Mary raised her glass, without whom we'd still be coaxing reluctant tomatoes and arguing over water ratios. Everyone raised their glasses. Zara felt a warmth that had nothing to do with the drink and everything to do with the people around her. These humans had become her community, her friends, her family in a way. Her biological family no longer was. Later, as they prepared for bed, Olivia noticed Zara seemed thoughtful. "What is it?" "I sent my report to the Council today. Did you tell them about us?" Zara nodded. "Yes, I told them everything. How my views have been confirmed, not changed. How I have found connection, not conflict. How we have formed a bond. How do you think they'll respond? They will extend my exile, perhaps indefinitely. They will see it as proof that I have been contaminated by human influence, that I can no longer be trusted." Olivia sat beside her, taking her hand. "And how do you feel about that?" "A year ago, it would have devastated me. Now," Zara smiled, "now I find I do not mind the thought of returning to Vexil, to a society that fears difference, that retreats from connection. That seems more like exile than staying here. So you'd stay even after your sentence is complete? If you would have me?" "Yes." Olivia leaned her head against Zara's shoulder. "I would have you for as long as you want to stay." The next morning brought an unexpected development, a message from Tala, Zara's sister. The first direct personal communication she'd received from family since her exile began. Zara's hands trembled slightly as she opened it. "Sister, I hope this message finds you well. The Council shared parts of your reports with the Science Academy as examples of—" Tala paused. "Contaminated thinking. They thought to discourage others from questioning policy." They did not anticipate the effect your words would have. Some of us, particularly younger scientists, found your observations compelling. Your experiences with humans contradict the official position in ways that cannot be easily dismissed. There are discussions now, quiet but growing, about the wisdom of our isolation. Questions being asked that would not have been possible before you spoke out. Your exile, which was meant to silence you, has instead amplified your voice. I cannot openly support you. The consequences would be severe, but know that you are not forgotten, not disgraced in all eyes. Some of us believe you may be a pioneer, not a cautionary tale. The Council has extended your exile to 10 years as expected, but there is talk of establishing a small scientific outpost near Settlement 12. An official presence to monitor and study not just humans but other species in that sector. It would be carefully controlled, of course, but it would be a crack in our isolation. Be well, sister. Continue your observations. Your reports are read more widely than the Council knows. Zara sat motionless for several minutes after reading the message. Her exile, her disgrace had not been in vain. Her words were reaching others on Vexil. Change might be possible. Slow, barely perceptible, but possible. She showed the message to Olivia, who read it with growing excitement. Zara, do you know what this means? You're making a difference not just here, but for your people too. It means my exile has purpose beyond punishment. It means connection. Might be possible between our worlds, not just between us. That day, Zara walked through Settlement 12 with new awareness. She watched humans going about their daily lives. Working, playing, learning, living. She saw the children she taught, waving to her excitedly. She saw Mary directing operations in the hydroponics lab. She saw Paul and Susan deep in discussion over mineral samples. This place, this community had become her home. These people, her people. She had been sent here to learn fear. Instead, she had learned love 6 months later. A small Vexillian ship appeared in orbit around the moon. A scientific mission, they called it. 3 researchers came to Settlement 12 officially to study the local ecosystem. Unofficially, to see for themselves what Zara had described in her reports. They were young for Vexillians, barely past their first century. They arrived wary, uncertain, their inner eyes narrowed with anxiety. But Zara saw something else in them too. Curiosity. Hope, perhaps. Samantha, the colony administrator, welcomed them formally. Zara and Olivia were there as liaisons. The 3 Vexillians, Nevkira and Soren, looked at Zara with barely concealed fascination, at Olivia with undisguised curiosity. Their eyes moved to the joined hands of the human and Vexillian, then quickly away. Welcome to Settlement 12. Zara greeted them in the formal Vexillian manner, then switched to human English. We have prepared quarters for you and workspace in the Science Center. The youngest, Nev, responded, hesitantly in English. We thank you for your welcome. We look forward to learning about this ecosystem. And perhaps about us as well, Olivia added with a smile. Later that evening, Zara showed the visitors to the hydroponics lab, explaining the integration of Vexillian techniques with human technology. Mary joined them, sharing data on the increased yields. Nev and Kira asked questions hesitantly. At first, then with growing enthusiasm, Soren, the eldest of the 3, hung back, watching Zara closely. When the others moved ahead, examining plant samples, she spoke quietly. The Council did not tell us everything, it seems. What do you mean? Zara asked. They said we would find you changed, diminished by your time among aliens. Soren's inner eyes focused on Zara. Instead, you seem stronger, more certain your work here. She gestured at the thriving plants. Is impressive. Your connection with these humans is not what we were led to expect. The Council sees what it wishes to see, perhaps, but now we see for ourselves. Soren hesitated. Your sister Tala, she is my mentor at the academy. She could not come, but she sent her regards. Zara felt a surge of emotion. She is well. She is. She speaks of you often, though carefully. Your ideas, your questions. They have not been forgotten. In the weeks that followed, the Vexillian scientists gradually relaxed their formal reserve. They worked alongside human researchers, shared meals in the dining hall, attended community events. Some colonists were wary at first, but curiosity overcame caution. Zara watched with satisfaction as small connections formed, the scientists asking questions not just about plants and minerals, but about human customs, the humans sharing stories, music games,